arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun. There's more to be seen than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Some say eat or be eaten, some say live and let live, but all I agree is to join the stampede. You should never take more than you give in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune, it's the leap of faith, it's the band of hope. To find our place on the path that winding in the circle of life. Some of us fall by the wayside, and some of us soar to the stars, and some of us sail through our trouble, and some have to live with the scars. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can never be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps grading some more of the endless ride in the circle of life. Is the wheel of fortune, it's the leap of faith, is the band of hope. We'll find our place. Circle of
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, the fire, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar. Now I'm floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. I earned my stripes. I went from zero to my own hero. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger. Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you. Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Yes, nice to see you all. I can see that we're about 47 here, so it's a good number for us to start with. So I welcome everybody to this seminar on life skills, and without further ado, I'm just going to show the names of the participants, the names of the facilitators of this event. Please give me like a minute. Yes, so you are very welcome to today's seminar. The aim of this seminar, first of all, I need to introduce myself. I'm Mrs. Funmilayo Onafowokan, CEO of Green Olive Schools, and you are very welcome. We have here Mrs. Stella George that will be speaking to us on emotional resilience. We have Mr. George Ashiru who will be telling us about some mental tips, some tips that we can use to increase our mental strength and endurance at this time. We also have the DJ Jam Smith, that has given us some music. I'm sure you may wonder, what is music doing in a webinar? We're trying to let us know that music is one of the tools we can use to relax and to detox at this time. So that is why we have a DJ on board with us. And we also have Bash. He's a comedian, he's an entrepreneur. He's going to be able to share with us some of his coping mechanisms. Because the world we live in now, we need to share, we need to help ourselves. We need skills. The knowledge we had before the pandemic, it's almost as if everything we knew has become past tense. We need to help ourselves to be able to cope, to be able to navigate in the new normal. So we are going to be talking a lot about emotional intelligence. We have found out that when your environment is not changing, you have to change yourself to be able to cope with your environment. So we are living in a world where there's now been the effect of a pandemic. Then we're also living in an African country that we have our own challenges. Now, you have to take control of your mental space. You have to take control of your emotions. You can't go around complaining, getting angry with the situation. You need to be able to cope. So that is why we are here today, because I am convinced, I am passionate that it is only people that are transformed in their minds that can transform a society. I'm a patriotic Nigerian, but I believe that Nigeria can only change when people start to think differently. It's not the soil or the trees that are going to change Nigeria. It's we, the human beings. So we need to have a different kind of mental space, a different way of thinking. And what I want to encourage everybody is that you don't need to wait for the environment to change. You are the one that you need to change. You need to be able to change as a person, to become a whole person, a different way of thinking to change Nigeria. That is my motto, that is my message, and that is my mantra. So without much ado, I'm going to call on Mrs. Stella George. She's going to be giving us the first presentation on emotional resilience at this time. Please, we're going to disable the chat for some time, then we'll enable it. So she's going to ask some questions that will need you to answer on the chat. That is when the chat will be disabled, because we want us to concentrate. We do not want it to be rowdy. So once the chat has been enabled, you can quickly answer what she's asking. So let's start with Mrs. Stella George at this time. Welcome, Madam Stella.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like you to just confirm that you can hear me before I continue.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, Mrs. Fumi, for this wonderful opportunity to speak to us on emotional resilience. Before I continue, I'd just like to share my slide so that we'll follow along. The topic for today is building your emotional resilience for success. Please, can you confirm that you can see the slide?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, fantastic, fantastic. That's okay. So the topic is building your emotional resilience for success. Now, but we can't talk about emotional resilience if we don't address what emotions are. Because the time is short, we'll just take a brief moment to discuss what emotions are. In simple terms, emotions are just feelings. Yes, you heard me right. They are just feelings. So joy is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. Excitement is an emotion. Now, emotion in itself, especially anger or sadness or disappointment, they are all natural emotions. We can't help how we feel per time, but we can control the way we react to the way we are feeling. And that is why this class is very important. Because, like I said, they are natural. These are feelings that come. Something happens to you immediately, you feel excited. It's an emotion. Something else happens to you, you feel so angry at that point. It's an emotion. But moving from that step of that feeling to taking action, in between that time, what happens is very critical. I also like us to know that emotions are transient. What do I mean by that? It means that emotions are temporal. They are not permanent. So, in fact, I have not seen someone that started feeling so excited from morning till night. No, it gets to a point, oh, you feel a bit down, you come up again. So you can't take a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. Because that is the problem that we see today. Someone is feeling angry about something, they take a decision based on that emotion immediately, and it might be a permanent decision. And that's what we want to avoid. So we'll be looking at the concept of emotions, which I've talked about now, because we do more of questions. So this session is not going to take time. We're going to discuss emotional resilience, what is it, and the importance and ways to build your emotional resilience. These are the things that we're looking at. So quick question. Now that we know that emotions are just feelings, okay, they are temporal. We know that they are natural. Can people just type in the chat? Tell me how you feel. Please be open. You can see different labels. I say, let's label our emotions. How are you feeling today? Do you feel excited? Do you feel sad? Are you happy? Are you enthusiastic? Are you hopeful? Are you disappointed? There are other words to use to label your emotions. So I want, like, at least if I can get 10 people telling me how they feel, then we can, oh, somebody say, I feel good. I feel happy. Oh, somebody said, I feel like I'm in reverse. Wow. Okay, maybe you explain to us. This person said, I feel enthusiastic. Another person said, I'm happy. I feel happy. I feel up. Oh, I feel tired. I like this. I feel tired. This person is being open. Tired. Excited. What is making you tired? Oh, stress. I like this class. Fantastic. Excited and hopeful. So many words to label our emotions. This person just said, I feel fine. I feel fine. I feel happy, positive. Fantastic. Thank you so much. You may disable the chat option. I feel positive. Great. Okay, so that's good. Fulfilled. I like this. I like this. Okay, so I feel wonderful. I feel confused. Wow, I feel confused. I feel confused. I feel tired. I feel stressed. I feel positive. I feel wonderful. This is nice. Let's just disable the chat group. I want to bring out something from this labeling of our emotions. What I like about this class is that they didn't pretend. For those that felt excited, happy, enthusiastic, they were able to express it, to say, this is what I feel. Then some people said, I feel confused. I feel stressed. I feel tired. The truth is that you can't mask your emotion. You can't pretend and say, oh, I'm feeling excited when you know you are feeling confused. That is where it starts. You should be able to label your emotions properly. And it's a very good thing. Somebody says he feels confused. So the next question now is, why do you feel this way? Why are you feeling confused? Some people, they feel sad because they took an exam and they failed. Some people are expecting promotion and they didn't get it. Some people had plans before the coronavirus came and they didn't meet up. So many things that are making people feel a certain type of way. But you see, it depends on what you do with your feeling. That is what makes the difference. It is not wrong for you to feel worried. It's not wrong for you to feel tired. It's not wrong for you to feel stressed. No. But after then, what then do you do with that feeling? Very important. I give you an example. I was talking to two people that lost their job. These two people are working in the same place. They were asked to leave on the same condition. There's no partiality or anything. They were asked to leave. And when I asked a question, two of them, I asked them questions differently. The other person said, I feel so angry at this organization. They've used me and they've dumped me. What is this? I am so mad at them. I can't even communicate with them again. I'm breaking the tie. The person is so angry. And I asked, so what do you want to do from now? He said, I don't even know. In fact, right now I'm so angry. Just leave me. He was so bitter in his soul. The second person, just on a flip side, the same condition, I asked, so how do you feel? He said, yes, I feel sad that these people had to disengage us at this time. However, I have taken a perspective of my emotions. I have looked at the reason why they asked us to go, and I'll come to think of it. I am grateful that I was not asked to go because I stole money, because I committed fraud. I am thankful to God that I was able to work in this place for this number of years. I have been able to save money to do this, to do that. So I'm looking on the bright side of life. I said, fantastic. This person has not even come to my emotional intelligence class. He's already able to apply it. I said, this is the attitude. You will recognize that you feel sad for what has happened. But will you continue to feel sad? How are you going to move from where you are to where you need to be? That is the big question. So that brings us to the topic, emotional resilience. What is emotional resilience? The word resilience comes from the Latin word resilio. It means to bounce back. To bounce back. See, so long as we are alive in this world, there will be problems, there will be setbacks, there will be challenges. You see, man born of a woman is full of, these days are full of troubles. You are solving one problem today, another one is coming. For those that are married, school fees from primary to secondary to university, from nursery self. For those that are going to school, from one exam to another. For business people, you try this business, it failed. Will you continue to bemoan and say, oh, it has failed? So problems will continue, challenges will continue. If we are alive, we are in this world, it will continue. But the question is, how are you able to bounce back? So emotional resilience refers to your ability to adapt to stressful situations or crises. In simple terms, it's the ability to bounce back after a challenging or difficult situation. It just tells us that is what? There is light at the end of the tunnel. If you can hold on, because if you can't hold on, you might not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So what is the importance of building your emotional resilience? It will help you to maintain balance in life. Like I said, the other person I was giving an example, there are some people, when something happens to them, that is it. Because they don't have balance, they can't bounce back. It's happened, that's where you hear cases of suicide. Oh, I failed my papers. This is my final, it's supposed to be my final papers. Let me just go and take something and kill myself. That is the end. No. If you have built your resilience, you should be able to know that so long as I'm alive, I can try again and I will make it. It helps to protect us from developing some mental health difficulties and issues. It's the same thing. When you begin, some people are raising their hands. I think we agree that we should allow till when it's time for questions.
Go ahead.
Yes, okay. So, yes. So some mental health difficulties and issues, you can run away from it if you build your resilience. Because when something happens, if you're not able to bounce back, some people will resort to taking drugs, harmful substances, and it will lead to mental health issues. When somebody decides to lock himself up, decides to, not to associate with anybody because something has happened to you, it can lead to mental health breakdown. Now, the importance of resilience is improved learning and development. When you are able to bounce back, you have an open mind. You can learn, you can develop. But if you don't have resilience, something happens to you, you have a closed mind, you shut your mind, you can't learn and you can't grow. It also helps to reduce the rate of mortality and increase physical health. It's just the same thing. If you build your resilience and you don't resort to the extreme measure when you have problem, you might not think of committing suicide, killing yourself, taking harmful drug, and killing yourself at a young age. No. I know we know this man. If because of time, I would have asked us to just to share 1 minute. What do you admire about Nelson Mandela? Nelson Mandela spent 27 years of his prime age in prison. Not that he committed a crime. What did he do? He was fighting for justice. Now, the same Nelson Mandela is telling us, he said that the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fall. Fantastic. I think this is a powerful quote from a man that has spent 27 years of his life in prison. I want you to imagine it. Just imagine it. Imagine it. This is not 27 days, oh. It is not 27 months. It is 27 years. In that, look at, this is a picture of him in that particular prison. Sleeping and waking up. What do you think kept Nelson Mandela going every day? Do you think that he was not thinking, oh, let me take my life, let me end it all? No. He will be thinking, those thoughts will come to him. But his resilience, knowing that if he does not take his life, there is opportunity for him to bounce back. Of course, we know the rest of the story. He later became the president because he kept on. He held on. He did not end it there. Now, why are we talking about emotional resilience at this time? And once again, I'd like to thank Mrs. Fumi for putting up such webinar, because the truth is that we were taught mathematics in school, English, equations, and the rest, but nobody taught us resilience, patience, gratitude. These life skills, nobody took time to tell us that in life you will have setbacks, so this is how you're going to deal with it. Nobody. And so we just go, we feel that everything should go in a straight line. And once there is any sort of challenge, you see people doing all sort of things, committing suicide, telling you that there's no hope again. But if someone had told you that you might encounter such an issue in your journey, but please know that that is not the end, I think we would have coped better. So the emotional intelligence, the reason for emotional resilience is we are living in a VUCA world. What do I call a VUCA world? The volatility. Volatility means that it's not steady. Things are changing every day. Uncertainty. Did anybody know that coronavirus was coming at this time? It's an uncertainty. It just came from nowhere. We had plans and it came.
Okay, I think Madam Stella has network issue. So with that, we'll just pause where she is. I've put a message on the chat that we can, all our questions will be answered at the end. But so that we are not left in limbo while she connects again, Mr. George, I think Mr. George Ashiru can start while Madam Stella joins us as soon as she's okay.
Hello. Would you like her to restart while the DJ plays?
She hasn't come up, so I think she may have network issues.
Okay.
So I think the DJ should just hold. Do you want us to have some music before to get you into the mood, Mr. George?
Yeah, I would like to actually hear Stella finish her papers because I was enjoying that.
Yes, I was. But because of her network, so let's just continue. Or should we have some music for 2 minutes? Okay, let's have some music for 2 minutes.
Let's have some music.
DJ Jamsi.
Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, cause I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Cause I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. I said, cause I'm clap along if you feel like a room without
alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
So thank you very much for that. So for those of us just joining, we were listening to Madam Stella George, and I think she had an issue with her network. So we're going to, okay, I think Madam Stella is back. So Mrs. Chioma, can you please unmute Madam Stella? I can see her. I think she's back. Madam Stella, can you unmute yourself and continue your presentation, please? Madam Stella, please continue your presentation.
Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you. Please continue.
Yes, I want to. Okay, I'm using my phone here. I want to be able to share my slides again.
Okay, okay.
Yes, so.
While you were away, we got some chats. Some people wanted to be able to ask some questions on the chat. So, Madam Chioma, can you please enable the chat, Madam Chioma? Please go ahead.
I'm
Mrs.
back
Stella.
now. I'm back now, yes, yes.
Please go ahead.
I'm not unmuted, my video here. Please, I need to be able to share my screen. The host disabled the screen sharing.
No, we can see you and we can hear you, Madam Stella.
No, I need to share my screen. It's disabled. I can't share.
Yes, you can, ma.
You can.
Okay, now it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so I want to let me do slideshow. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we go back to where I was before network decided to act up. So we were looking at the reason why we are focusing on emotional resilience, and we're saying that we are living in a VUCA world. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity of today's world. There is technology disruption. Uber has come to take over, the traditional taxi style that we know before. So these are the reasons why. It's just one example. Digitization has taken over some of the things that we do normally, and some people are not able to catch up. Now, if you are not developed your emotional resilience, and some of these things begin to happen, somebody will come and say, oh, they've taken my business, there's nothing for me to do. But another person will say, okay, how do they do this Uber thing? Let me go and get the app now and convert my taxi to Uber. It's just one example. Tesla is coming with electric cars. Things are going to continue to change. We need to develop our resilience. We need to learn adaptability. We cannot stay in our old ways and feel that the world will continue that way. No, the world is moving forward. So how do we develop our resilience? Remember, we talked about Mandela, and he spent 27 years in prison, and the man was able to keep on. And he said that the greatest glory in living lies not in failing, but in rising each time we fail. So these are some of the ways, because there are many of them. One is to make time for gratitude. See, some people dedicate all their energy in negativity. Oh, all the negative things that has happened in their life, they can list it in a twinkle of, just ask them to list it. They will list it for you. But can you please take time to reflect on the positive things that God has done in your life? Can we take a moment sometimes to do that? I tell you, if we can practice gratitude every day, like the person that lost his job, instead of dwelling on the job he lost, he said, I want to thank God that I did not leave this job because I stole money, because I committed fraud, because I've seen some people go that way. I left this job on a good note. Tomorrow I can come and ask for reference. That is his own way of showing gratitude. I was amazed at that young man. That is his own way. The other person is saying that I hate these people. Look at what they've done to my life after giving them how many years, this one, that one. Two people, the same situation, different approach. Please, let's learn to make time for gratitude. Appreciate God for your life. Do you know things as simple as some people, malaria, they have gone to the world under. You have suffered the one that is more than malaria and you are alive today. You are well. Why can't you thank God? Some people are saying, oh, I wanted to do my master's abroad. Somebody does not even have money to do BSc. Why don't you thank God for the one that you already have? The second thing is to build your social capital. You know, some people will say, oh, me, myself, and I can do it alone. I don't need anybody. And that is why when something happens, there's nobody to console you, nobody to speak to you. Or even the kind of friends that you build, what kind of friends do you surround yourself with? Do you surround yourself with those kind of people that will always feed your spirit with negativity every time something happens? Instead of them to encourage you to be positive, to show gratitude, they tell you, leave these people, forget them. You can't build your resilience like that. You need to tap into positive energy. And you do that by building a good social capital. The third one is, please be patient. Let us learn to be patient. That's one thing I've noticed, that we lack patience, in this our time. Most people, we don't want to be, take our time. Everybody wants it. Somebody says, now. So don't rush to fix things immediately. Take time to bounce back. Something happens to you. Now, nobody is going to crucify you if you take your time to come up again. Let's learn to be patient. It will help. Patient people, they tend to experience less depression. See, when you are impatient, you can enter into depression because you are thinking of so many things, you want to do so many things, and you want to do it now. You don't want to give yourself time. Another way to build your emotional resilience is to practice what I call self-motivation. For me, I feel that this is what kept, one of the things that kept Nelson Mandela in that prison hopeful. Self-motivation arises from your internal desire for satisfaction of a specific goal. So do you have a purpose in this life? Do you have a goal that you want to achieve, that you have set for yourself? If you experience done your goal because you had a setback? No. The only thing that can change is your mission. But your goal will not change. Your purpose in life should never change. Your mission can change. The way to get to your goal can change. Oh, coronavirus has come. Things have changed. How else can we do this? Madam Funmi, has a passion to inspire people to build their emotional resilience. She wants to build people's capacity. Coronavirus came. We can't do a physical meeting. She was not deterred. She decided to put an online meeting. This is personal motivation. What is it that keep you, on your feet every day? What is that thing that you look forward to every day that keeps you alive? When I say keep you alive, in quote, that thing that you're so passionate about, that is self-motivation. So you're not waiting for external motivation, for people to tell you this, you talk to yourself and say, Stella, you have a passion, you have a purpose. God has deposited this skill inside of you. Go, speak to people to build their emotional resilience. Now, maybe I experience a personal issue in my life. I decide to abandon my purpose. No. Another way to build your resilience is to practice delayed gratification. This is one thing that is lacking. Everybody wants to gain it now. Nobody wants to sow and wait for the time of reaping. Everybody wants to get immediate gratification. And that is why when you go to school, somebody wants to, cut corners to pass the exam. You don't want to take your time to study. In business, you want to cheat your way through. Everybody, that's why you see people going into fraud, internet scam, so many things, because oh, I've seen my friend do it. I want to get it now. Please, I can't wait. Maybe, in fact, where I work, these are people that collect monthly salary. But at the end of the day, they still go ahead to go and steal because they're not willing to wait. Maybe they want to buy a car, for instance. They're not willing to dedicate a certain sum of their income to save to get that car. So they want to get it now because their friend has it. And what do? They want to go and either steal, manipulate, lie, cheat, do all sorts of things. That way you can't build your resilience because you are always on the edge. You want to meet up. You want to do this. You want to do that. And if you are caught, remember, every day for the thief, one day for the owner. So finally, this is the resilience wheel. This is the resilience wheel. Everything that we have been talking about is in this resilience wheel. Having your... Okay, this is the last slide. Please, I just want to know if you can still hear me before I...
Yes.
Okay, so I'm almost to the end. Yes. So the resilience wheel is like the summary of everything that I've been talking about today. Okay, so when you have a social support, look at it down here, a network of friends and family, you'll be able to bounce back. When you can control your emotions, remember we started with your emotions. How are you feeling? You told us how you were feeling, and I say, what then do you do with what you're feeling? Remember, ability to be flexible, okay? Ability to change of plans, change of goal. You believe in yourself. This is the resilience wheel. All right? So, Madam Titi, there's a video that is 2 minutes that I want us to watch. If we have time, we can watch it. If not, this is my final thought.
Please go ahead with the video.
Okay, so let me share a video. We'll just watch it and we draw the lesson from it, and I will hand over to the next facilitator. Okay, so that video is somewhere here. It's in my downloaded. Okay.
Should we take the video at your second session and go ahead now?
Okay, so in the my final thoughts. Yes. Maybe we should just talk about it. Then I'll get the video.
Yes, in 1 minute, please talk to us about that chart that you presented.
Okay, which, sorry?
Your last slide. The one before this, that there was a wheel. There was something like a kind of circle. Okay, so I think you can just keep that until the next session because you are still coming up again. So can you stop your screen sharing, please? Oh, okay.
Let me keep it for the second.
Yes, for the second section.
When I come up the second. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you, Madam Stella. I want to thank you for that. Please put in the chat that any question that we have, we should just keep them till the end of the program. There's going to be a time for asking questions. And if you need slides, I'll put our school email address and a phone number. So you are going to get the slides free. That is not a problem. So I would want us to now call on Mr. George Ashiru because of time. DJ, don't worry. I know you are eager to give us your music, and we too, we want to hear you. But don't worry, we are going to have time for you. And like I said at the beginning of the session, you may wonder, why do you have a DJ at a program like this? Because we're trying to tell all of us that we need to detox, you know, we need to distress. And music is one of the tools that we can use to calm down, because what is happening is affecting everybody. So your emotional and your mental strength, your mental space, you need to guard it. You need to check yourself. Just as Madam Stella has said, the pandemic is not affecting only you, it's affecting everybody. So your case should not be different. That is, nobody needs to look at you and say, oh, how come you are looking like this? You have to be resilient. So thank you for that, Mrs. Stella. So let's go to Mr. George Ashiru, who is going to give us some strength, some mental strength that we can use to cope at this time. Don't forget, we are still going to have Bash, the Cash. Bash is a comedian, is an entrepreneur, is an actor. He's going to talk to us let us know how he has also coped at this time. And well, of course, we're going to have DJ Jam Smith jamming it for us, and let us enjoy ourselves, because we are here to enjoy ourselves. We're not on earth not to enjoy ourselves. So that is what we are trying to preach. Mr. George Ashiru, can you please come on now? Mr. George Ashiru, please. Our next speaker, Mr. George, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go on. Can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to Stella also for the the great intro to the program, putting us in the state of mind where we can appreciate what comes afterwards. For everyone who's listening to us today, my name is George, and I want to share a couple of things that I have picked up from personal life experiences that will take you from a zero to a hero. Will take you through the journey of the right kind of mental strength, the right kind of emotional strength, the emotional balance that will take you from where you need to be, where you are to where you need to be. And for that to happen, I will first have a couple of things that I will share with you before I talk. I speak from the slides. The slides basically are meant for you. They are just to guide you to remember some of the things that I will speak about. But there are 4 important quadrants that every young person needs to know, and everybody also on this earth needs to understand, that will help them to succeed. One of the benefits of my experience in life is that I've been able to do quite a few things for myself and for this country. So I look back to my experience as a former athlete, as a former model, as a trained engineer, as a consultant in oil and gas, and so many different things. And I ask myself, how are you able to juggle so many different talents and capacities? Do you develop them in sequence, or do you develop them in parallels? Because for a lot of people, multitasking is difficult. For a lot of people, being able to do many things at the same time is very difficult. And to achieve greatness in life, you need to take whatever you are doing, you need to start from the little dot of whatever you're doing to make a whole universe, an ecosystem around it. So the patience and the strategy to take it from where you are to where you need to be sometimes is what makes a lot of people give up. Like Stella says, and they think of themselves as failures and say, look, I didn't achieve anything. And that's because you know you have the potential, but for some reason you couldn't quite get there. You know, if you're building a house, you first have to construct on a piece of paper what they call the building plan. So when you do the building plan, then you take that plan and you hand it over to a building engineer. The building engineer knows how to interpret those plans to begin the idea of constructing a building. He calls a quantity surveyor and says, this is a bill of lading. I need all these things, and what are their costs? Brings them all together. And then with the building engineer, with the quantity surveyor and the architect, they begin to build that house with a couple of other people together. It is impossible to build a house without having a plan. It is impossible to build a good house without having a good plan. And that foundation is what I think we ought to be speaking about today. And a lot of it starts from the mind, from when you were very young. As a very young person, you have to ask yourself that question. What are the things that I was born with? What are the genetic talents that come from when I was born that I can develop in order to move me from just a young person in the first trimester of my life to become a great person in the later trimesters of your life? And the very first gift that everyone has is genetic, what you inherited from your parents. Some people inherit from their parents' height. And then before you know it, because they're 6'6" and above, basketball becomes attractive to them. Some people inherit strength. And because they've inherited strength, you begin to see the capacity and the desire to use it in other, I'm talking about physical strength now, to use it in other capacities. So there are genetic inheritances. If you're the kind of person that has developed, you look at your body and you realize that you have what they call fast or white twitch fibers, which means you can run faster naturally than everybody else, even without training. It's because it's a genetic inheritance. You got it from somewhere. Some people come with a larger heart than others. It means that they can pump blood more efficiently. They probably can do marathons, like those Kenyans, whereas everybody else finds it difficult to do the same marathons. You need to first discover early in your life, what is that gift set? Because once you know your gift set, your mental clarity about what you need to achieve in life is easier. And quite a lot of times, it's your parents that will look at you and say, he takes this one after me. She takes that one after me. And therefore, they have started the concept of what they call TIDS, which is talent identification and then development. It's not only in sports. It's in music, it's in art, it's in science and everything. The second level that you need to understand in order to be able to build up this plan to become a great person in whatever your chosen career path is the emotional talent or emotional gifts. So have you noticed that some people are empathetic? They empathize with other people, whatever their challenges and problems are. They're good counselors. They don't have to talk you out of, people who talk you out of suicide. It's a gift. People who talk you, it's not just a training, but it's also a gift. People can talk you into going to Sahara Desert and carrying sand there to go and sell, to the nomads. That's a gift. It's an emotional, empathetic capacity. So some people have it, and some of those people, they can use it to achieve greatness. And then there is the mental gift, the intellectual. Part of what we're talking about today is mental resilience, intellectual resilience. If it's a gift to you, you have an elastic capacity to understand things, elastic capacity to concentrate on certain things and achieve things because it's a gift to you. Other people have to strengthen themselves. Some people learn and understand things faster. Have you noticed that some people understand mathematics faster than others, even with the same teacher? Why? In their minds, part of their gifts is their capacity to understand numbers and the algorithm of numbers and understand the structure of those numbers and apply it for problem solving. That's a gift. So I've talked about 3 gifts so far. The genetic inherited gift, the emotional gifts, which you pick up from the way you empathize with others, the intellectual gift. In order to solve problems in life, you need to have intellectual gifts. There are lots of problems in this world, and the person that can conceptualize the solution is going to become very rich. That's why Jeff Bezos is so rich. That's why Mark Zuckerberg is so rich. That's why Bill Gates is so rich. That's why all these other great people who are solving problems in science are so rich, because they imagine the problems and they intellectualize it. They may not have emotional empathy. They may not be Obama, who can empathize with you and lead people, arouse emotions. They may not be able to run. They may not be able to fix every problem using their physical talent, but they have intellectual. Very important to have that skill. That mental gift, that mental strength, that resilience in your mind is one of the key reasons why you have Nigerians going out to compete in international sports tournaments. There will be local superstars in Nigeria and Africa, but the moment they get to the Olympics, they fail. It's because on average, our mental resilience is not tested in this country as it is tested in highly competitive atmospheres of Europe and United States of America. In highly competitive environment, you have to develop the strength to overcome and overcome and overcome and overcome. Here in Africa, we are used to complaining and complaining and complaining, or waiting for pastor to do it, or daddy will do it, or government will do it, because we don't want to strain our minds to be able to problem solve. But in a society that at the age of 16, they expect you to be self-sufficient. They expect you to start planning your own life by yourself and to live on your own. Mental fortitude becomes consistent with your developmental pattern. And so it's critical for us, as I'm talking to everyone today, that you don't play with how you build yourself from where you are to where you need to be. Sometimes you may need a mentor. Sometimes it's self-development if you are in a situation where you don't have access to people that can help you. Sometimes it's from reading. Sometimes it's from what you're exposed to. If you look at my slides, you will find in one of those slides, I mentioned about 3 different ways in which people get to understand and their talent and build their talent. Some by, like a student. Some students learn by being in the classroom. Some students learn by watching what the teacher is doing on the blackboard. Some other students learn by hearing what the teacher says. And other students say, come and show me. Mentor me, hold my hand. 3 different methodologies for development of your strength, your inner person, and then of course, your talents and your giftings. And then the last one, strangely, I call it a spiritual gift, but it's actually a gift of wisdom. It means of all the things that are available, knowing when to do what you need to do is wisdom. Knowing how to do what needs to be done with the talent available to you is wisdom. And wisdom is a combination of the knowledge you have, the experience you also have in life. It will begin to help you in funneling the right actions to take. And so those foundations are critical for your success. Those foundations help you to be able to see life, and whatever life brings at you, you navigate your way around it. Navigating your way around life is mental resilience. Emotional intelligence is, we have mental quotient called IQ. We have emotional quotient, which is commonly known as emotional intelligence. There is also adversity quotient. Some people cannot take stress. You want to be an entrepreneur, but you don't like disappointment. You don't like people saying no to you, but you want to be an entrepreneur. In Nigeria, anywhere in the world, people will say no to you on a regular basis as an entrepreneur. And because you do not have adversity quotient, you're not prepared for tough times and difficult times. When difficult time hits you, you stop on your tracks, and then you lose courage and you don't go forward. So like my sister mentioned Nelson Mandela, I'm lucky. I met Nelson Mandela 30 years ago. I shook his hands. And what I learned from Nelson Mandela was that the 27 years he had in prison, it was because he had the emotional balance combined with the adversity quotient, the capacity to go through stress, trouble, problem, spite, every evil thing the white apartheid people could throw at him. He was able to accept it. He was able to turn it around, and we all talk about Nelson Mandela as one of the modern heroes of human history. It was his adversity quotient, but he had emotional intelligence. He was empathetic. He was a leader. He understood people. He understood issues. He knew when to compromise. And all those things together with mental, forget about him being an activist. He was a lawyer. So that means he had developed his mind. He developed understanding of laws. Therefore, he knew what he was fighting for. So if you are going to make examples of some of these great people, we also have to remember some of the tough things, tough times, and also the things that they did to build themselves up to that level. So the combination of genetic gifts, emotional gifts, intellectual gifts, the gift of wisdom, all combined together, they are the building blocks of what takes you from zero to hero. What I'm going to share with you is just to guide you. I typically don't teach from slides, but I will share it nonetheless, because it will help to encapsulate what I've been trying to talk about. So once you can see my screen, please let me know.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So let me do a large screen.
Mr. George, I like all this, your titles. So.
Which one?
There are many.
Chartered Manager and Certified Management Consultants. Thank you. So in summary, what I was hoping you will get today from my presentation is identify, by virtue of assessment, all the needs to take you from where you are to where you need to be. Recognize and interpret the coefficient of success, which is part of the things I've just mentioned to you. Develop a plan of how to learn these things so that you can achieve the success you need. Identify the practical sources. You know, today's webinar is all about life skills. And life skills are divided into hard and soft skills, all right? And these are the definitions of hard and soft skills. Hard skills are the things you learn through formal processes, through formal education and training. So whatever you want to do, a banker, you want to be a financier, you want to be a laundromat, you want to be you want to study, these are hard skills that are certified in the end or provides proficiency. But soft skills, they come from your emotional intelligence. They talk about your ability to relate with people. So if you are very intelligent, but you don't know how to communicate, you will fail. You're very intelligent, but you don't empathize with other people, you will have challenges in life. You will have, especially in a culture like Nigeria, where we are relationship driven rather than process driven. So those are key things I just mentioned there. And let me remind you that I mentioned this, that there are learning styles. Some people learn by hearing, some people learn by seeing, some people learn through the dynamic process of mentoring, which means I don't hear what you say, oh, I don't see what you do. What you show me, what you take my hand to do is what is required. And these are the steps required to get there. Identify where you are in this process. Awareness is the original part of it. When you are still identifying who you are, is by observation. Then when you now begin the process of learning, which is what we are doing today. Today we are now trying to knowledge share. We are trying to identify what are the areas in which I can learn a bit more so that I can move from one step to the other in the ladder of success. After you have learned, you become proficient. That's what I put there as knows how to. You know how to be a judge. You know how to be a lawyer. You know how to be a doctor. You know how to be a comedian, an actor. That's because you are past the knowledge and understanding stage. You have already passed the awareness of your talents. You are now in the area of actually activating knowledge. Then the next thing is, are you motivated to do it? Like me, I studied engineering university, and people ask me all the time, well, how come you're not practicing engineering? So motivation to practice engineering and the motivation to practice as a management consultant are not the same. I am more motivated to do management consultants because I'm an Ijebu and I have business and management in my blood. I will stress less in looking for how to make money and help other people make money and charge them for it. So here, I'm asking you now you have the competencies. List your competencies. That's how you do a SWOT. In a SWOT, you list your strength. I now know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I have developed the mental knowledge, the mental strength, the basis for success in life. The next thing, of course, is, do I have the platform to do it? What are the challenges that will prevent me from being able to activate the known mentally, intellectually captivated abilities? In this country, all of us will blame government. In this country, we will blame our parents. We will blame circumstances. We will blame lack of finances. These are motivations for not using your prodigious talent, not using your incredible, tremendous capability. And you hope to go to another country to achieve the same thing. So this is the process in summary. So the assessment is the original awareness. What are my talent pools? So am I intellectually gifted, emotionally gifted? Am I gifted with the spirit of wisdom? Am I gifted with the physical capacity to excel in sports? After doing that initial assessment, then based on the results, I create a conversation that will lead to a plan with my mentor, with my teacher, with my parents, with everybody, and say, look, I need your support in order to achieve my life goals. Then you now go through the instruction processes, and then you apply it in life. And you keep monitoring, it's a circle that you keep doing all through your life. In this slide, you can see so many different skill sets. So many different skill sets. Banking, management, nutrition, you know, being a masseur. It's anything, both hard and soft skills. It's a tree of life. And life skills will help you to achieve that massive and awesome tree. And then just quickly to mention what I have gone through myself. Did I learn my life skills growing up? Sure. What did I learn? I learned that I could paint. I learned that I could draw. I learned that I could sing. I learned that I could model. I learned that I could sprint. I learned that I could fight. I learned that I could be an engineer. I learned that I could be a consultant. I learned that I could be a leader. Who taught me? Life taught me. My parents taught me. And I went through so many different mentors to get there. How did they teach me? They used the whole three of those things I mentioned to you before. I learned from hearing from them. I learned by watching them. I learned through being mentored by them. When did I know I'd learned them? When I was able to practically apply them and saw the results, then I knew I'd become competent in those things. Now, is this how I could teach my own children? I have 2 adult children and one younger son. And I watch them every day and I say to myself, oh, wow, these children are copying me and they are succeeding in certain areas of their lives because they are following a gradual, a graduated, a systematic, a strategic pattern from moving from one place to the other. I mean, I'm one of those people that I have a daughter who graduated from university with a first-class degree in IT. Then I told her to go and do chartered accounting. Now people are saying, how can you move from IT to chartered accounting? Well, she went to chartered accounting, had the best results in her foundation year. And everybody thought, how can you come into accounting? We that studied banking and accounting, we are just getting D, C, B, and you are getting, because I knew that she had the intellectual capacity to achieve those things. And I pushed her in the direction and she came back with the results that I thought. So why or why not? Why or why not basically means, am I motivated to achieve all those things? Yes, I'm motivated to, and I achieved them by the special grace of God. So these are the 2 critical quotes that I heard in my life. These 2 people were my mentors. My high school proprietor when I was in UK, studying for my A-levels. He said, what you put in life is what you get back from it. He was talking directly to me. He said, George, what you put in life is what you're going to get back from it. And I said, why? He said, because I see you try to do so many different things. One day you are going to get the results and the rewards of those efforts. The second one is a very famous motivational speaker and inspirational leader called Chief Kera. He's actually an American. He came to Nigeria to do a course for Lufthansa Airlines, and I was invited as a special guest. And he said, a talent that is not activated will be auctioned. And that scared me. If you have talent that God put in your life and you don't activate it, if you have to auction it, God will take it from you and give it to other people. Those 2 affected me. So I look for all my talents, every single talent that is inside my body. I try to activate all of them to wherever they could be. And that's why people sometimes make a reference to me and say, Master G, Master G. Basically what they're saying is that you have tried to master every single talent God has given you that you have identified. These are tools that the modern generation can use to assess themselves. I put the links there. If you go into these links, the first one is assessment tool. It's a psychometric assessment tool. It can actually help you think about who you are, what your talent pool is, and your attributes. And you pull the results out, and those results begin to tell you where you have a tendency, whether you're the kind of person that will become more process-driven, people-driven, and your career path should therefore follow that direction. The second one is something we developed for Lagos State. It's a mentoring hub. So people with different talent pools come onto that hub, and Lagos State looks for achieved people like Funmilayo, like Stella, and other people, and say, come on this and mentor other people. You know, I mentioned that mentoring is one of the 3 key ways in which people learn. So this platform was created by my organization for Lagos State Government, Lagos Innovates, to be able to achieve that goal. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Thank you so much for that. That was powerful. That is, any talent that you have that you don't use is going to be auctioned. That is so important. I want to just, before I bring Bash on, I want to recap a little bit, because there are so many things you said that are very touching. That is, you have to have adversity quotient, and that is what I want to emphasize to us as Nigerians. When I have some free time, I usually like to read about inventors. I've read about Thomas Edison, that was part of electricity, because he's not the one that really discovered it, but he had the last invention that made us have electricity now. Then Alexander Graham Bell, that discovered the telephone. You'll be amazed. I discovered that Alexander Graham Bell's mother was deaf, his wife was deaf. So in trying to solve that problem, that was where he had this love to create something in the auditory world. And that is why we have the telephone today. The telephone, the internet, just look at where it started from. Now, when you research these inventors, their circumstances were very difficult. In fact, I learned that there was a time Thomas Edison's ears were pulled, he almost went deaf. But he kept on experimenting till we have electricity today. The electricity that we are enjoying, even with this webinar, and the telephone system that we are enjoying, even with this webinar. I can go on and on because I just love to research inventors. I want to know what made them tick. What makes people decide that I'm not going to only think of what is in it for me. When I was preparing for this webinar, somebody asked me, or more than one person asked me, Fumi, what is in this for you? And I smiled. I said, I have got my reward before the webinar. She said, how? What is in this for you? So what I'm telling all of us is this. We need to grow this country. Nigeria needs to change. The trajectory of Nigeria needs to change. I want all of us to ask ourselves this question. If not during this webinar, when we end, why do you think you were created in Nigeria? Do you think it's a mistake? What are you supposed to achieve in Nigeria? As George said, there is something that you are created to achieve in Nigeria. If you don't achieve it, you are going to have a question to answer when you get there. Now, there's nobody that comes to this earth that there are not going to be challenges. So there are challenges. Saying that, oh, why am I not a Ghanaian? Why am I not a Jamaican? It doesn't matter. You as a unit, you have what you are supposed to achieve on earth. And as Madam Stella said, you have to develop resilience, because after the pandemic, there are still going to be issues in life. And that is why we need to help the younger generation who don't know how to cope. They don't have the patience of Mandela, as she has said, and they do not know how to tap into their intellectual and adversity quotient, as Mr. George has said, and that's why they go into drugs and all that. So what we are doing today is not a one-off, it's a continuous thing. We need to develop our skills to know that problems are meant for life, but we are the ones that are going to make Nigeria a better place. So the next speaker now is Bash. Bash is a comedian, but today he's not here to make us laugh, but I know comedians must always make you laugh. So we welcome laughter. Laughter is good, but more importantly, Bash wants to tell us how he has been able to cope, and then we'll take it up from there. So Bash, over to you. Please unmute yourself, Bash. You are welcome.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is BASH. They call me Bash the Cash. I am a realist, and I promise you I'm going to make it a little bit very snappy, and I'm going to talk to the youth because I'm part of them, things they need to do to be alive, to understand life, and the roles parents, teachers, and other people need to play. First of all, I'm one of the few people that believe no matter what you have, you must be learning. So I used to say school sense and street sense make you have common sense. Just because you're from your background don't have a silver spoon, don't make you can produce for yourself a diamond spoon. So first of all, I'll start like this. You first need to work on your ABC. ABC is attitude, behavior, and character. A lot of us have good attitude, good behavior, but our characters are bad. And they have a lot of things. These three things are things that will make you stand out. From my own angle, I remember vividly when I started comedy. I don't have any mentor. I was doing it all through. And through that, because of my ABC, my attitude, my behavior, and my character, I learned from a lot of people, including Alibaba, Basket Mouth, and learn any job you're doing at all. The first thing you must do, you must be ready to learn. Yes, you must have a mentor. You must have somebody you look up to, somebody that will talk to you like brothers and sisters and show you the right road. So the first thing I'll tell you is you work on your ABC, your attitude, your behavior, and your character. Secondly, I used to tell people, show me 5 of your friends, 5 of the music you listen to, 5 of your mentors, and I'll tell you what you'll be in 5 years. If you are not in a circle where you are not influenced or inspired, then you are not in a circle, you are in a cage. You guys need to understand that a lot of things are going wrong nowadays due to social media. So you just have to be yourself. You need to understand. Let me use an example. If you notice, the closest friend to Aliko Dangote is Femi Otedola and the likes of them. That's a circle. You get inspired. As Dangote is getting bigger, Adenuga is getting bigger. We have teachers. If you notice, people that are close to Wale Soyinka, you notice they are intellect. They are intellectual people like him. So your circle, you must know what you want in life, not just by they are my friends. We go to parties together. We rock the latest together. No, what are they giving you back? What are they giving you back? So that's the second thing. Know your circle. Know where you are heading to. Thirdly, know your plan in life. I can recollect Mrs. Onafowokan just said something. She said, when somebody wants to invent electricity or stuff, know your purpose in life. A lot of this generation are in big trouble because they just want to trend. Everybody wants to trend. I was discussing with a friend of mine recently. Hush Puppy is a lot of youth mentors, and I was shocked because the kind of job he's doing now, he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Do you want to end up like that? No, so know your purpose in life. I'm not telling you not to work. I'm not telling you not to look good, but know your purpose in life. Know the kind of people you talk to, know the kind of people you listen to, know the kind of people that inspire you. If you don't have good things that inspire you, there's no shortcut to success. You just have to do it the right way. And after that, I'll tell you, before I go, I'll teach you something. It's called EBA. EBA. EBA, then what's been helping me all through my career is called, before I get to EBA. And I believe a lot of our older people, our parents have a lot of things to do. They have a lot of work to do because this generation, because of social media and a lot of laws about child abuse, you can't touch them, you can't talk to them anyhow. They are not emotionally strong. They beat us, we don't die. That's what we have. That's why I'm scared. Let me give you an example. If the older generation can produce Wale Soyinka, Olusegun Obasanjo, Alawakala, a lot of mentors like that, a lot of teachers, F.R.A. Williams, Ganifa Onyimi, Fela Nicola Pokuti, and they are all learned. What's this generation producing? Who are we looking up to? If you understand the level of drugs that they are giving to the youth of nowadays, you'll be scared. For example, who are their mentors? Hush Puppy. All these internet fraudsters are there. So there's no way you're going to make it in life. There's no shortcut to success. You can see now, Hush Puppy is the only one facing the music. So just choose your friends, choose your circle, listen to your older ones, listen to your teachers, listen to your mentors, and stay away from drugs. I'm so scared to say this. I have kids too. Stay away from drugs. I was discussing with my father. I said, a lot of you people have free education, and you failed us. Yeah, I believe they failed us because they are not giving them free education. And he answered me that even if we are giving you free education, are we the one giving you drugs? So stay away from drugs. Stay away from drug, please. It's not good for your health. A lot of people be like, Bash, we don't see you anywhere. But my circle, I choose my circle. You need to understand a lot of things like that. Before we get to a bar, man, Mrs. Onafowokan, I'll just use this medium to say thank you very much for bringing up stuff like this. Maybe post-COVID, we'll still come around to stand with this student to talk to them. During COVID, it's been a little bit tough. So because entertainers, we need a lot of gathering to do our job. But always have a plan B. There's 26 numbers in alphabet. If plan A don't work, move to plan B. B don't work, move to C. So we survive because some of us have, when we have this little, the little income that we have, we invested it in other businesses. So when COVID came in, it's a little bit tough because your source of income is blocked, but at least we survived it because we have other source of income. So don't have one source of income when you have the opportunity, have different sources of income. And EBA, we're talking about emotional intelligence. So EBA is emotional bank account. I'll teach you this and take it before we call it a day. Emotional bank account. For every human being you meet in life, it's like a bank account. You are opening subconsciously. You are opening an account with them. For every good things you do in life, maybe you pass your exams, you're doing well in life. You're putting money in that account, which is crediting it. For every bad thing or every dark side that you have, you are withdrawing. So anytime you have the opportunity of meeting anybody, including Mrs. Onafowokan, including Sheila, including a lot of you guys, I will make sure I invest something very wonderful in you. Eba. I'll give you an example. Everybody have good and bad uncle. There's an uncle that walk up to you and say, William, stand up from there. And you'll be like, come and carry me now. Come and carry me. It's because of the debit is not enough. But there's an uncle that walk up to you and be like, Williams, without saying anything, you'll be like, it's because of you, sir. I'm standing there, it's because of you. Yeah, it's Eba. When you meet people, make sure you do something good, invest something good. Emotional bank account. The emotional bank account work in every aspect of life. Work, life, lifestyle, Eba work like miracle. Make sure you do something good. Let people remember you for something.
It's like Bash has a challenge. Please call him. Bash, can you hear us? I think his line has, I think he's having some challenge. Okay, so until he comes back onto the forum, can you hear me? Yes, so until he comes back onto the forum, I would want the DJ to just play some music for like 3 minutes. Let's have some music of 3 minutes before Bash, and after Bash, we're going to have question and answers. So the chat column is going to be opened, and we need to ask ourselves a lot of questions and provide some answers. But like I said, I want all of us to think of this. Why are you created as a Nigerian? Why are you not created somewhere else? What exactly are you supposed to achieve in Nigeria? Regardless of whatever is happening, you know, in government or anywhere, in your own situation, you can change a situation. And like, I was happy that I brought Bash here because, you know, these are younger people that know what is going on, and he has mentioned drugs, which is something very, very concerning to me. Drugs is something that our young children have gone into beyond our imagination. Now, how can young people that wake up with drugs and end the day with drugs, how are they going to lead us in future? I want you to go on the internet and check that we are 206 million people in Nigeria. Between 0 and 14 years of age accounts for like 47% of our population. It is scary. And by the time you look at it and realize that in 1960, when we got our independence, we were just 50 million. So our population is growing astronomically beyond our GDP. We have a challenge. I've looked at the chat group and I can see a lot of people that are my age mates on the chat group. We have a lot of work on our hands. We have to look at our back at these youths because they are coming at a fast rate and their number is alarming and their quotient of hard work is not where it's supposed to be. So we're going to talk more on that. But let's have some music of the DJ for like 3 minutes. Then DJ, please, just 3 minutes, and then we'll have Bash, or we'll go to Madam Stella for part B. Thank you. Is the DJ there? Is DJ Jam Smith there? Okay, Madam Stella.
Yes, he is.
Oh, is DJ there?
Yes, he is.
I can't believe I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st, oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one picking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you bought? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest, that's fun. Big fives in the US to Taiwan.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel dissipate like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you? You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go. You're gonna leave 'em all.
Waited so long for my light to shine. I've paid my dues, trying to be the best. I believe dreams will come true. Don't be scared, you'll make it true. Gotta be strong, it won't be long. It's my time to rise and shine. Somebody sing, yeah. It's my time to rise and shine. Somebody sing, yeah. We are trying. That's what we are. Yeah. Oh no, it's my time to rise and shine. Somebody sing, yeah. We are champions for life. Time after.
Okay, thank you, DJ. We'll continue very soon. Don't worry, we love to dance. Okay? So pandemic will not stop us from dancing. Very good. So thank you, DJ. So we are moving on to part B. We call Mrs. Stella now. The chat has been enabled. So if you have questions, please put your questions there. For those of us just joining, we have indicated in the chat section our email and the phone number that we can write so that we can get the slides. Once again, I repeat the purpose for having this, because this is not 1.5 hours that we could have used somewhere else. There's a reason why we're doing this. We are conscious of the fact that we are not created as Nigerians by mistake. It is not a mistake. And instead of us going on social media, continue to discuss the challenges of Nigeria, we have decided that we want to address this situation in the way we know how, with our voice and with our skills, because we are created as Nigerians on purpose. So whatever space we are occupying, we are supposed to make Nigeria a better place. Our vision, my mission, Green Knowledge Vocational Skills Academy mission is to transform minds. But I found out that you cannot transform minds if you do not talk to them. Let people know the ways they can develop skills and tools to navigate life. If we want Nigeria to change, it's going to change by human beings, and we are the human beings. We are the human beings. So without much more ado, let me hand over to Madam Stella. Madam Stella, please continue with your part B. The chat section is enabled. Please put your questions there. Thank you.
Okay, so can you see my what I'm sharing.
Your voice is very low, Madam Stella. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me increase the volume. Can you hear me now?
Still very low, still very low.
Okay. Is it okay now? Is it better?
There is a challenge with your audio, Madam Stella.
Okay, I'm playing a video.
And water it every day and give it everything it needs. Plant a seed. Imagine you plant a seed and water it every day and give it everything it needs. And imagine, after doing this to the best of your ability, after 365 days, there is no growth. No growth after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and still no growth after 4 years. By this time, some gardeners will question, why waste any more money or energy on this lazy tree? In China, there is a type of bamboo tree that needs to be watered every single day without fail. When that seed is planted, initially there is no growth, and nothing appears to come out of the ground for the first 5 years. Nevertheless, there are experienced people who have faith. They keep watering the tree. In the 5th year, within 6 weeks, this particular tree grows to around 80 feet tall. We can understand much about life through nature. It's not that we always get immediate results for what we do. Patience and consistency are essential. Today, we are used to a fast-paced life with instant results and instant gratification, where we have everything at our fingertips: internet, computerized technology, modern cars, fast foods, and entertainment whenever we want it. This expectation for instant results has penetrated into our relationships, our work, and the general ethos of how we live. Deep relationships and meaningful accomplishments seldom happen quickly. They require intelligent, sensitive efforts and patience. One does not become an accomplished artist, athlete, or musician without regular, consistent practice. When raising a child, you may not see results initially. However, little by little, if you raise your child with proper disposition and values, your child can grow up to be someone that you will be sincerely proud of. Perhaps in his or her own way, an exemplary leader of humanity. But this takes years of patience. Timeless wisdom of the Vedas explained that the formula for success is to define our goals and values and then to pursue them with enthusiasm and patience. It is this combination that helps us to pass through the struggles that we encounter and truly succeed. Without enthusiasm, there is little or no progress. Without patience, we may give up or become reckless when results don't come according to our expectations. Let us view each part of our lives in relation to the larger picture of our goals and values. Never, never be discouraged if we try our best with devotion, character, and compassion. That in itself is the crown of our success.
Thank so much, everyone.
Thank you, Madam Stella. Thank you very much. Mr. George, do we have something for you from part B before we start taking questions?
No.
Okay. Now, I saw a question in the chat group. Okay. Madam Chioma, please can you enable the question so that people can ask questions? We've almost come to the end of our time. So Madam Chioma, please can you enable the question? Let people ask questions. Mr. George?
Yes, I'm online.
Yes, we can see you. So do you have some final words for us before we start taking questions?
I think essentially what the video is making reference to is so touching and so critical that it's a very important takeaway for any young person. And when I mean young person, all of us who are young at heart, we are also affected. The world is asking for instant results in everything. It's becoming sad that people don't take time to craft their craft, so to speak. You now have universities trying to reduce 5-year education to 2 years because children don't have the patience to go through 5 years to learn to be an engineer. And so we need to get back to that drawing board of asking ourselves, what is the purpose of life? And I like the Socratic method. The Socratic method of asking that question pushes it back on you and says, what do you think is the purpose of life? I don't have the answer. You tell me what you think. I think I'd like to challenge us today that each of us should begin to think, what is the purpose of life? And why do we do what we do? And what is the motivation behind it?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you. I would also want us to realize something, that just as he said, we all have a purpose. If I'm going to speak from experience, those of you that know me, you know that I've loved to do so many things. I can see my sister is one of the participants. I'm sure she'll say, oh, her sister has tried so many things. Yes, that is true. But this is it. When you discover your real purpose in life, I can assure you, you will have peace. Now, when you have peace, the second thing is that you will realize that you are not competing with anybody. And that is a message I want to let all of us know. If you are still thinking you are competing with somebody else, you have not found your purpose. The day you discover why God created you, what you are going to give account of when you leave this earth, you are going to have absolute peace of mind. Another thing that is going to happen to you is that you will start to receive grace. Like I have received grace for this seminar. The people that I have brought here, they are available, they are willing, they are enthusiastic. Because this is a grace, because of the purpose behind it. I want to challenge everybody to discover the purpose for your life, because there's no reason wasting life. There's no reason taking unnecessary drugs. You don't need it. Make sure you are on your path, on the path for which you are created. Today we have learned, and we are still learning, skills for coping. We are all made differently. The way we think, the way we reason, the way we are resilient is different. But we have to help ourselves. After the pandemic, there are still issues. I'm sure you have seen what is happening with our exchange rates. Some of us may be importers. How are you going to cope? If you do not have resilience, I'm sorry to say it, your health will be affected. But this is not the time to go to hospital. Money in our hands is less. You need to spend money now on good nutrition, not in the hospital. That is why we are bringing seminars like this. You need to know how to cope, because what is going to happen after this is people that can cope that will succeed. There's a question I saw on the chat group. It said, how can somebody that has everything, how can that person want to commit suicide? But it's possible, because a vulcanizer that is emotionally resilient is going to succeed more than a PhD holder that is not emotionally resilient. You don't learn resilience in the university. You don't learn resilience in Cambridge. You learn resilience through experience of life, through adversity, through challenges, through problems, through telling yourself, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not the only Nigerian facing this. I'm not the only educator that my school has closed. I am going to succeed. I am going to fight. I am going to succeed. That is how you learn emotional resilience. You do not learn it in the university. You do not learn it as a degree. So it is through the trials of life that you learn to be emotionally resilient. So to answer that question, it is very, very possible for you to live in a big mansion, in a very nice part of Lagos, and you are not as resilient as the gate man or as the girl selling bread on the road. And it is those people that live to 80, 90, people that have resilience to cope. I want you to study the people from the eastern areas. I don't mean east of Nigeria, people like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, that martial arts. What is it teaching them? It's teaching them strength. Bruce Lee, all of them, it tells them that you can do it. You can achieve it. They have brought that resilience into everything they are involved in, the Chinese and all that. We may have things that we do not admire, but the ones that are good, let us admire it. Let us know that without emotional resilience, without telling yourself that I am going to make it, we are not going to move forward as a nation. Everybody here now, we're about 100 and so people here. Imagine if we all leave this seminar with the mindset that every day you wake up and say, Nigeria is going to be great. And I am going to be part of the people that are going to make Nigeria great. And we start to spread this. We don't look at what is going on around us. We just determine that in my own corner, as long as I am alive, Nigeria will be great. Imagine what will happen. That is my message. We can't forget about what is going on with our government. Make yourself a government. Make yourself a local government in your area. Start to take care of your environmental sanitation. Start to correct the youths in your area. Start to correct children in your area. If everybody tells themselves, I am a senator, even though I am not in Aso Rock, Nigeria will change. We have no other country. So we have to help ourselves. So I think I'll just allow, there are some questions in the chat. Mr. George and Mrs. Stella, can you please look at the chat and let's see if they're going to, if you have any answers. But I want us to know that we have a website. We're going to put it at the end. And apart from that, send everything you need to our email, which I have put. I'm going to please put our email on the group again so that you can send all your comments there. But before the DJ comes on, because some people may leave before the DJ finishes, let us leave this seminar with something. You are a Nigerian. Yes, some of us may have American passports. Whichever passport you have, there is no mistake. What you are supposed to achieve in Nigeria, if you don't achieve it, you have answers when you leave this earth. You are not here by error. Forget about what is happening around you. Even when Jesus Christ was on earth, there were challenges. Have you ever thought of that? There are going to be challenges till we leave this earth. Not only in your lifetime, even after your lifetime. Your responsibility is to make a difference. What difference are you making to Nigeria? That is my question. What difference are you making to Nigeria? Are you creating opportunities or you are part of the problem? I want us to have those questions. Okay, so let us look at some of the questions. Mr. George and Madam Stella, can you look at some of the questions? If there's anything that can be answered now. Mr. George, do you see any question you want to answer?
Yes, I can see a question from Obiora. So he's asking, how did you manage, you have done so many things, how did you manage and how do you advise us to? First and foremost, let me say a lot of the so-called management is by grace. It's not like I had a plan when I was young that I would do 5 things and then hopefully succeed in maybe one of them. what I mean by grace is that I got an opportunity to be exposed to activities which helped me to find out what talents that I had in myself. And then I also had the opportunity to be in places where there were the right kind of mentors to explore those talents. Not everybody has the same opportunity. If I like sports, and maybe I lived in the UK where there was tracks and stadiums and places where the facilities were there. The combination of my love for sport and the facilities is fantastic. What if you love sports and you're living in the creeks somewhere in Bayelsa? Then you have the talent, but you don't have the opportunity. So that's why I say it was a coincidence that there was grace that allowed me to find out some of the things that I could do. However, what I would advise, sometimes you have to seek where you can activate your talent. Sometimes you have to go the extra mile to find that place that you can activate. There is a young man called Obiora. He's no longer young, that I mentored. I discovered him at the age of 17. He's now in his 40s. And I remember that I had just come in from the UK, and he, through my cousin, he said he wanted me to mentor him and help him to become somebody in life. Today, what he said he wanted to achieve at 17, he achieved it and beyond. That's because he was able to find somebody who could help him facilitate what he hoped for as a young man. So what I will ask you to do is write a plan, like a vision board or a business canvas. In business, we call it a canvas. There you put your expected vision, what you hope to be 5, 10, 20 years from now. Put a plan together. All the resources required to get that plan, where to find those resources. You need to have it always constantly in your pocket, so that when you see an opportunity, you say, oh, these are one of the things that I wanted to achieve. And now I've seen an opportunity. So what do I need to activate it? That's going to help you in the short term. Let me keep that short for now because of other questions to other speakers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think Madam Stella, is your audio okay now? Do you have something to answer?
Can you hear me?
Sorry, it's still low. We can't hear you. It won't work. Maybe when you resolve it. Okay. I also saw something, somebody was saying that more seminars like this, definitely, we are in this business for life. We are in this business for life. We are, all of us on this facilitators here, it's like we have worn the same trouser with Nigeria and with Nigerian youth and adults. We need to transform Nigeria. So you can be sure that we are going to have more webinars and anything to help us. Because if you look at our nation, at our population, and look at the younger people coming behind us, we need to tie our wrapper and say, we have to fight this situation. These younger people that are on drugs, what are we going to do to turn their minds around? Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful tool that you can use to transform society. And so what we're doing is online education. You see, what has happened during the pandemic has made us to realize that education goes beyond the four walls of a classroom. And that is what we are trying to tell us. You know, like Madam Stella said, we send our children to the best schools. They go abroad, they go to all the big schools, even in Nigeria. But when they start life, they cannot face life. They do not know that there is now University of Life. They do not have emotional resilience to cope with life. Meanwhile, your driver whose children went to a public school and went to a polytechnic or whatever are able to cope with life. They don't go to the psychiatric hospital. But children that do not know how to cope with life are the ones that are doing all these things. We need to start teaching children resilience, that challenges are part of life. And that is why this kind of seminars is like an online school, to be letting people know that we have to continue to help ourselves and develop this nation. You see, I'm looking forward at our younger generation that they must develop this nation. We are all on our way out, even if you give us 40 years. But these younger ones, look at the number, look at the sheer population. Just go on United Nations and check the population of Nigeria, 206. Now check the demography of that population. Between 0 and 14, 47%. Now, if you extrapolate that to like 20, 25, 30, you are looking at about 50 to 60% of Nigerians below the age of 35. That is serious. How many of them are in school? How many of them are learned? We have a challenge. Our infrastructure has not improved. Our GDP is shrinking. We need to be concerned. That is why social ills continue. That is why you have rape. That is why you have drug abuse. That is why you have kidnap and so many things. And my sisters and my brothers on this forum, it cannot get better. It can't get better until we start to address the minds of people. So that is why we are here today. Madam Stella, can you please talk, Madam Stella? We can see you. Do you have anything to say before we go to before we round up the program? Yes.
Okay, so yes, in conclusion, I'd like to just say that there are two types of resilience. One is the inherent one, which some people have that capacity to, to develop resilience as they grow, because they were born.
We can see you. Go on.
Yes. Then the second one is adapted resilience. This is the one you learn as you grow and as you encounter challenges in life and situations. Like we said earlier, issues of life will not end. They'll continue to happen. After COVID, we don't know what else is coming. Your ability to adapt and quickly, build your resilience is what will differentiate you from the ordinary person out there. So what we are talking about today is that people should begin to develop their resilience. I don't know if anybody has any question concerning that, but we've talked about different ways of developing resilience. We looked at Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. And we're asking, what kept him? What kept him? He must have been resilient. So what we see today is impatience. Look at the video I played of a tree in China that takes how many years to grow? And someone has to water that tree every day. Every day, the person is patient enough to wait for that tree to grow. But what we see today is that people want to instant gratification. They want it today. They plan today. They want to reap today. It doesn't happen that way. And we also have to know that in life, we're going to encounter issues. It must not always work out the way you planned it. Something might come up along the way. How are you going to pick up the pieces of your life and move on? That is it. There's a quote I have, that's the last quote. It says that if my heart is broken, I should make art pieces with it. In simple terms, what it means is that, some people say if you give me lemonade, that's exactly what it means. So you can turn challenges of life to opportunities. There are some people that are thriving even in this era of coronavirus. You understand? So that is what it means. You can't give up in life. You can't take your life. You can't say, oh, this is the end for me. Because of a setback, you don't even know what you're going to still achieve if you give yourself some time. Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa after spending 27 years in prison. So on this note, I think I should stop talking and allow the questions to flow. Thank you.
Madam Stella, thank you. We heard you loud and clear, and we are very grateful for that video in particular, where you showed us that somebody was wetting a plant every day. It just shows that we need to develop resilience in Nigeria. We need to develop resilience as a people. And again, we are the government. That is another thing. We are government. Government is not somebody that is elected. You and I are government. So we need to develop that mindset that I am part of the government. Let's see what other questions are there. Okay, how can I know my dreams and talents with parental restriction? Can I be two things at the same time? How can I know my dreams and talents? Madam Stella, can you help us with this? How can I know my dreams and talents with parental restrictions? Can I be two things at the same time? Madam Stella, do you have an answer for that young girl? And I think she's a young girl, please.
I have an answer for that. In fact, I would have loved to see her face, to speak directly to her that she can be 10 things at the same time if she wants to. Oh yes, I'm a typical example. Yes, you can be all that you want to be. If you have skill and passion, yes, there are some that you will do better in. Some people, they are bankers, they are also fashion designers. They can sew clothes. Okay, some people can do 2, 3 things at the same time. You can't limit yourself. You are just talking about 2. 2 is small. You can do 3, 4. So I want you to know that you can be all you ever want to be. See, let me tell you, before I started speaking like this, before I can come to speak to you, gathered like this, over 100 and something people, some people told me that you can't do it. You are a banker. I mean, how can you come and be talking to people? But look at me today. I can speak to people. There are so many things I can do. So please, you can do all the things that you want to do. It's just for you to tell your parents that this is what you are passionate about. So long as it's not a bad thing. You don't even know the skill that is going to fetch you money tomorrow. You don't know. It's not stealing. You are not lying. You are not cheating anybody. It is something that you love to do. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Stella. So before we go to the music, I think we have another question. Okay. She said she wants to do both computer engineering and dancing. Madam Stella has answered you. Please go ahead. How can we direct our idea into money-making ventures? Please send all those kind of email. Send it to Gov Skills Academy, and we will link you up. Mr. George Ashiru is a management consultant. We as Gov Skills Academy, we are also into training and development, so we'll be able to answer anything to do with business development. Please just send it to our email address. So we're going to have some music now, but I'll leave you with this. You have not spent 1.5 hours in vain. You have to do a rethink. There are so many people that have lost their lives during the pandemic, but you and I are still here. Why? You should ask, are we eating? Are we the ones that are eating right? Are we the ones that are social distancing? No, we still have a purpose. Your purpose must still be achieved. That is my last message to everybody. We have a purpose, you have a purpose, I have a purpose. That's why what is going on around it, I must achieve my purpose before I leave the earth. And that should be what we tell ourselves, because people like us have passed away. You know, that's why social distancing and all that. So there is a reason why we are here and why we are Nigerians. So we must achieve our purpose. We need to take control of our mental space, and anything that is going to start giving us negative thoughts, you can't achieve it. Where will you start? Look at your income. You have to be able to say, no, I am going to achieve despite the situation. So I think on that note, I'm going to call on the DJ to please play some music for us. And at the end of that, we're still going to show 1 or 2 slides and it will end. DJ, 5 minutes, please.
Be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You can talk the guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your head. You can break rocks, you can be a master. Don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go by yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame, yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. You can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero, you get the gold. Breaking all the records, it's all about the people. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. You never go alone, never even try. Do it for the country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I believe every lie that I ever told, paid for every heart that I ever stole. I played my cards and I didn't fold. Well, it ain't that hard when you got soul. This is my world. Somewhere I heard that life is a test. I've been through the worst, but I still give my best. God made my mold different from the rest. Then he broke that mold, so I know I'm blessed. Stand up. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I got all the answers to the questions.
My light in the beautiful sea, I choose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive, we're like diamonds.
Thank you. Thank you.
I waited, come one right away, oh right away. At first sight, I felt energy, I surrendered.
Thank you, DJ. Okay. Okay, so we have a slide that we're going to show us for the okay. Yes, like I said in that slide, the only person you are competing with is yourself. When you have a mental clarity that you are not competing with anybody, honestly, it gives you so much peace of mind. So I want to encourage everybody that you are only competing with yourself. You are not competing with anybody because you are not going to be judged by another person's standard. Nobody is going to say, why didn't you achieve what A achieved? Or why didn't you do what B did? It's only why didn't you achieve what you were meant to achieve? So that is what should keep you awake at night. What am I meant to achieve? That is going to be your only yardstick for measurement of success. So please, you are your only competition. There is no other person you are competing with. Let us continue to encourage ourselves and come for these webinars because you will always pick up something new. Like was said at the beginning, this pandemic has shown us that what we were doing before, we can no longer continue to do it. Business needs to be tweaked. Business needs to be re-strategized. So you need to know how you have to navigate life now because everything has changed. That is why we need to continue to learn from one another. As you are aware, we have another webinar tomorrow, which is talking about mental and emotional health. We are going to, we have already shared those, the email, the flyer for that, and the Zoom link and the password for that. But if you don't have it, just send a chat to 07055773040 and we'll send you the Zoom link for tomorrow. Mental and emotional health is important. We cannot run away from it. 100% of the time, we are always thinking, and people next to us do not know what we are thinking about. We need to know when our thinking is going in the wrong direction. There are tools that we can learn, that we can use to calm our brain down. This thing called the brain is what takes care of our nervous system, our immune system, our digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system. This thing called the brain. So if you do not know how to take care of your brain, a lot of things in your body will not work well. There is a way we can learn how to quieten the brain. There are certain foods that we are eating, because what Funmi will eat that will be okay for Funmi may not be okay for Bumi. You need to know the food that you should not eat, you should not touch, because you have been created specially different from any other person. There are certain foods that you eat that affect your brain, affect the way you think, affect the way you reason. You need to learn all these tools, because this is not a rehearsal. You are in real life. So it's not a matter of, I will learn it later. You have to learn it now. This is what is going to make you succeed in life. So tomorrow we have to talk about mental and emotional health, because this brain is what you are going to use all through life. And those of us that have young people that are into drugs, they are destroying their brain gradually. We need to educate them. The more you deplete the power of your brain, the more you deplete the power of the achievements you can have in life. So you cannot afford to joke with your brain. You have only one. So we are going to talk about mental health tomorrow. We're going to talk about emotional resilience for families. Families are hurting. Families are crying. It's affecting homes because of the pandemic. Imagine a situation where both husband and wife have lost their source of income. Imagine the tension in that home. There is a way we can cope. That is what we want to talk about tomorrow. Emotional resilience in the family, because the bedrock of any society is the family. Everybody comes from a family, whether you believe it or not. Even the madman, he was born by a woman. And as long as there's a woman, there's already a family, even though she may be a single mother. So if every family starts to think right, then we are going to start making progress in Nigeria. Like I said, we are the ones going to change Nigeria. It's not the Togolese, it's not the Jamaicans, it's not the Australians, it's we Nigerians. So if we determine, those of us that have come for this seminar, that I am going to be a change agent, as long as I am alive, Nigeria will be great. And you start to multiply that message to everybody around you. We have started the conversation. I'm not saying this is going to be done. Rome was not built in a day, but at least we have started a conversation that we are not going to allow Nigeria to be destroyed in our lifetime. That is the message, that as long as we are alive, Nigeria will not be destroyed. We do not need to be in Aso Rock. We are government. I am government. You are government. And so we are going to make Nigeria work again. So thank you for attending this. I'm so impressed. People have been here for 2 hours, and that's fantastic. I'm just excited about that. I'm sure you have picked 1 or 2 things, and that is enough for me, because this conversation has just started. We are not going to stop this conversation. Nigeria must be great. Nigeria must be great. And we are not waiting for people in government. We are the ones going to make it great. Thank you for attending this webinar. Put your chat there, and we hope to see you tomorrow at the mental and emotional health webinar. Thank you very much. Mr. George and Madam Stella, can you please give us some last words? And let's see your videos, please. Madam Stella and Mr. George. Madam Stella, are you there? Mr. George, are you there? Okay. So on that note, DJ, play music until people decide to leave. So we still have a DJ on board.
Take a
So,
small
okay,
break.
Mr. George. Yes, Mr. George, please tell us something before we leave. We still have 60 people here. It's because they are hearing something beneficial. That's why they are still on board. That's why the fact that we should have finished about an hour ago. So, Mr. George.
Yes, thank you very much, Fumi. I'm going to just basically,
Just going to encourage people. I'm just going to encourage them to understand that just like you have very succinctly shared, this country belongs to all of us. And we have a responsibility of ensuring that it survives and that it succeeds and it excels. The future of this country depends on the foundation we lay today. So anyone who thinks that it's not their business what happens, let me just remind you of something an American diplomat told me. An American diplomat told me a few years ago, he said, children that don't build a wall in their community will grow up to become adults who don't care if that wall is destroyed. If you're one of those, like we were, that did Operation Feed the Nation, where we were planting corn and maize during Obasanjo's reign as a military head of state, the concept of agriculture, the concept of feeding the nation will become a part of your thinking because you were part of those who planted corns. If you're not part of building something, you wouldn't care who destroys it. So I think we must be nation builders. We must lay a brick today. Your name must be on the brick because of something you did for this nation. Something people will look back. If they look at Google and they Google your name, what will you find there? Let me challenge all of you today. Those of you who are here currently, just go to Google and put my name, George Ashiru, and see what comes out of that. If they put your name, whatever your name is, what will come out of that search? Is it zero? Is it negative? Is it positive? Those foundations are critically important to us. And you cannot be part of those that will build this nation if you don't have critical skills that you can add as a value to the nation. This is an opportunity to build those skills, build the attitude, the temperament, make the network and connection. Don't come to an event like this and you don't make any networking activities. You don't make any connection activities. Look at the names there. Look for how to search for the people who are there. Try and make a link with them. Say, did you participate in the life skills workshop webinar organized by Green Olives? Oh, I was also there. I'd like to meet you. I'd like to know something about you, business-wise. How can we work together? This is critical. This is important. That's how you build the blocks that will make you great. Build the blocks that will make the nation great. And the politicians of today, don't forget that they were all people in their 10s, 20s, and 30s in the 1960s. They built this nation, and that's why they're now enjoying from what they did. We may not like it, but the foundation remains that if you go to war for your nation, you go to war for your nation at 26, you have a right to come back at 76 and say, this nation should give me the presidency. This nation should give me the leadership. That is why those people are still in power, Obasanjo. That's why they're still in power, Buhari, because in the 1960s, they stretched their necks out. They risked their lives. They put their blood on the line to fight for this nation. And there were old people in this nation at that time as well, but it was the young people that fought for this new nation called Nigeria since 1960. They may have gotten the foundation wrong. That was all they knew. Now there's more knowledge, we understand better. Why don't we use that knowledge right and make this nation a better place? Thank you, and thank you very much for listening to me too. Thank you, Fumi, for this great platform. Hope we have more of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you so much. Definitely, we're going to have more of this, and thank you, everybody. I think Madam Stella too has something to say. Madam Stella, you have something to say.
No, it's fine. This is part one. We're going to have more. We're going to have more of this.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much.
Yes,
okay.
I'll be available to to share my knowledge, and hopefully
thank you so much.
Time to share from our wealth of experience. It's been a wonderful platform, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and thank you to Mr. George. It's nice meeting you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to the people that have put this together. Because when a program is successful, you may not know all that is at stake. This has taken us almost a month plus to put together, you know, with a lot of sleepless nights, but we were so passionate about it. I want to thank Madam Chioma, who is our IT control at the background. I want to thank Mr. Tunde Atolagbe, who is also our communication manager. I want to thank you, DJ Jam Smith, for the jams. We are still going to have DJ Jam Smith tomorrow, and even tonight, we're not going to close the forum. So those of us that just want to relax, because you need to detox, I'm telling you, the environment is already toxic. So you need to mentally detox. That's why we brought a DJ to let us know that, look, it is not in this overthinking that we are going to succeed. We need to detox and be able to move on. Mr. George Ashiru, I've known you for like, I think it's over 30 years now, and you have always been a role model. I'm so proud of you and what you've achieved. So thank you for gracing this occasion. You have been wonderful. Mrs. Stella, you have been wonderful. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you've done and for all your valid contributions. And I want to thank Bash. He may not be here, but I want to say thank you to him for helping us to also spread the word for this program. And I want to give all thanks to God and to thank my husband, who has been so supportive. I think he's still on board, Mr. Funmilayo Onafowokan. Thank you very, very much for your support, for your love, and for your kindness in making sure that I achieve my purpose and this program is a success. So I want to thank you very much for the backup. And of course, all glory to God, because anything successful, you should know is not by your power. The vision comes from the Lord. The enablement comes from the Lord. The grace comes from the Lord. And I want to say thank you to the Lord for this. We have just started this conversation. Nigeria must be great. It must be great. And we are the ones going to make it happen. So thank God and see you tomorrow. Over to you, DJ. We want to boogie. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
DJ James White. Wanna know the best, but I got my now. Wanna know I close my eyes, but I got stamina. And I see another mountain to climb, but I got stamina. I need another lover in mine, 'cause I got stamina. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, no, 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 don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, no, no, no. I'm free to be the greatest Funmilayo. I'm free to be the greatest.
Don't you believe that I want you? I need you here in my arms. Oh no, you won't have to worry. I'll spend each day in your charms. Oh, I wanna kiss you all over, running my hands through your hair. Oh, I know a place where love is. I'll keep you warm night and day in the love zone. You don't have to be alone. Together we can live and learn in the love zone. Someone to count on in a world ever changing. Here I am, stuck where you stand. What you need is a lover, a man to take over. Oh girl, don't look any further. Strange, we just think of the chances that we both be in a state of mind. Too cool to be careless, looking for the right thing. Oh baby, don't look any further. Thinking about your love. Yeah, I. Thinking about your love. I'll be there. Thinking about your love tonight, today, and always. I know it's hard sometimes and you can get discouraged when it seems as though our working lives are keeping us apart. Put your trust in me, baby, don't you worry. And it won't be long now, so we must be strong. There was times I know I let you down so badly. I never knew then what losing your love would mean to me. Ask for anything, I'll give it to you gladly. 'Cause you're part of me now, and you must believe that. If you're hurt, I'm hurting too. And I'm thinking about your love. If you need someone to care, I'll be there. You should know I'll never change. 'Cause I'm thinking about your love tonight, today, and always.
One time. You know it's a bright and shiny day. I want to say something to you. I love you just like Jacko. We know a place where just people can
como poder ser verdad. Last night I dreamt of San Pedro. Just like I was gone, I knew the song. A young girl with eyes like the desert. It all seems like yesterday, not far away. Tropical island air, tropical island rains, all of nature wild and free. This is where I long to be, La Isla Bonita. And when the summer played, the sun would set so high, ring through my ears and sting my eyes. Your Spanish lullaby. I fell in love with San Pedro. Warm wind carried on the sea.
Okay,
Te dijo te amo.
DJ.
I prayed that the days would last. They went so fast.
Thank you,
Tropical
DJ.
island breeze, all of nature wild and free.
Thank you, DJ Jam Smith. We are clapping for you here. Those of us here are clapping for the DJ. So thank you. We still have 14 participants on the group. We want to say thank you very much for attending this seminar. I'm going to call all the names of those of you that have still waited here. Madam Chioma, are you there, please? Madam Chioma?
Yes, ma, I am.
Please,
I am.
Can you unmute people that are still here
Okay.
at 7:25? We need to
Yes,
see their
please.
faces. These are wonderful people.
Please feel free to unmute.
Please, everybody,
Yes,
can
please.
you unmute yourselves and can we see your videos, because we're recording this and we are so happy to see Mr. Onafowokan, Mrs. Titi Oshin. I can see Precious, Titi Lola Shodipe Chinwe, Tola Rose, Adeyinka Ehima, my friend from Queen's College, and who else is there? Alatenumo. Oh, that is from Coopers and Librand days. Please, we want to see your faces because we are going to, at least, this is the end. We want to be able to capture our loyalists. Please, we want to clap for you. Please, Madam Chama, DJ, please, let's clap for those.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the webinar. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. So much, everybody. See your faces, Mr. Bumi Onafowokan, Mrs. Titi Oshin. We want to see your beautiful faces. Oh, thank you, Alatenumo. Oh, nice to see you. Very, very good. Nice to see you. Mrs. Yinka Ehima, we want to see your face. Why are you hiding? Mrs. Titi Oshin, our latest grandmother, Grandma Titi, we want to see your face. Okay, thank you very much for being with us till this time. We love you and we appreciate you. You have made this a wonderful webinar. Thank you. Hope to see you tomorrow. DJ, we see you tomorrow. Everybody, God bless you. Thank you for coming. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Are we supposed to end the meeting now, ma?
Yes, please end it, Chioma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. All right. Bye. See you tomorrow.